The story we've just read took place after the feeding of the 5,000. Jesus is gradually revealing to his followers that he's more than just a man. Having sent his disciples on ahead so he can pray, Jesus decides to walk 3 or 4 miles across the sea to catch up with them. It's between 3 and 6 a.m. in the morning. It's stormy, it's dark, and the disciples are exhausted from the hard rowing. So no wonder they freak out when they see him in the distance. Jesus immediately reassures them. Take courage, it is I. The Greek is literally, I am. Jesus is using the Old Testament name of Yahweh as revealed in Exodus 3, the God who performed mighty signs and wonders, including parting the Red Sea. Don't be afraid, I am. Exactly why Peter wants to join him on the rough sea is unclear. I wouldn't. Yet Peter seems to think that if Jesus can do it, he can too. So he jumps out of the boat as Jesus calls and walks on the water. It's dark, stormy, the waves are crashing, the wind is howling, yet Peter is walking on the water with his eyes fixed on Jesus. It's a great moment. However, it doesn't last. Peter feels the wind blowing hard against him. He looks around and begins to panic. Faith is replaced by fear, certainty by doubt, and he begins to sink. Jesus reaches out his hand and grabs him, taking him safely to the boat. Immediately the storm stops and the disciples worship him, saying, "Truly, you are the Son of God." This passage has so much to say to us during these times of great trouble and uncertainty. Firstly, it reveals the awesome power and authority of Jesus. Not only is he able to miraculously feed a multitude, but he has complete control over the forces of nature. He is the mighty Son of God. And we must remember that when our cupboard runs bare, when the money runs out, or we're overcome with sickness, Jesus, the great I am, is with us. Secondly, he calls us to trust him, to join him on the water. See, like Peter, Jesus wants us to experience and enjoy his supernatural power. Now, I'm not suggesting that you find the nearest river and step in it. I don't want to be responsible for any drownings. However, when everything around us is uncertain and scary, we can walk in his peace and not be swamped by the waves. Isaiah 26 verse 3 says, "You keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on you, because he trusts in you." The key thing is to keep our eyes on him. Don't look at the wind, the waves. Look at Jesus and keep looking to him daily. Lastly, and I think most encouragingly, when we struggle and doubt, he rescues us. See, Peter managed to walk on the water, but it didn't last long. And I can relate to that. Moments of faith followed by doubt and anxiety. And the wonderful thing is that Jesus doesn't disown us at those times. He grabs hold of us and takes us safely back to the boat. He is always there for us. He will not let us sink. A couple of nights ago, we watched a TV programme about a man trying to kayak over Niagara Falls. Crazy, eh? During the programme, they talked about how people in the past had walked across the falls on a tightrope. Now, I've seen the falls, and they are huge, and the current is so strong. You can hear the sound of them hundreds of metres away. Anyone trying to walk over them on a tightrope would be swept away to certain death if they wobbled and fell. Now, I'm not an expert on tightrope walking, but I know that if you learn to tightrope walk, you always have a safety net, so that if you wobble and fall, you don't get severely injured or die. And this passage reminds us that those who trust in Jesus have a safety net. They have a safety net. And when our little faith gives way and we begin to wobble and fall, Jesus always catches us. As it says in Deuteronomy 33 verse 27, the eternal God is your dwelling place, and underneath are the everlasting arms. However bad our circumstances, however weak our faith, he will not let us sink. We are safe even in the midst of the storm.